Hi guys, hope you're all okay. Today I'm going to be doing my third attempt at recording my Q&A video. The first attempt, my camera kept on playing up and it kept on turning itself off, but the battery was fine. So yeah, and so I just kept on turning it back on and kept on recording, but when I actually tried to look at it, it was like losing, there was massive chunks of footage gone. The second time I tried to record this, Darwin and Gilly were being a little bit boisterous, and after like 20 minutes I gave up. And again, when I looked at the footage, it was mostly me trying to calm them down and stop and pause. So yeah, the other thing that's become very apparent is that I had so many questions. This is definitely going to be broken down into sections, so it may be, I'm gonna say it's gonna probably be broken down into 3 different videos because I didn't quite expect so many questions, and as you guys are probably aware, I ramble a lot, so it's not that often that I give a one-worded answer to something. Right, let's start right on, jump right in on my bit of paper. Okay, what is your age? I am 33, I will be 34 in April. Where in the UK do you live? I live in Cornwall, which is in the southwest part of the UK. Basically, if you go any more southwest, you're in the ocean. We are the last county of the country. What's your middle name? My middle name is Anne, A-N-N, no E. Do you have any siblings? If so, what is their ages? I'm the youngest of 4. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. Which confuses some people because in some of the vlogs people assume they're seeing like Jess, who house sat for me when we went to Egypt. People assume Jess is my sister. Jessica's actually my niece. I have a lot of them. But yes, I'm the youngest of 4. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother, and there's quite a big age gap. Basically between me and the next one up there is 14 years, then between me and my brother there is 15 years, and then between me and my other sister it's 16 years. I was a little bit of a mistake. Yeah, so I'm actually closer in age to my eldest niece, who's only actually 4 years younger than me. What do you do for a living? I am an operations manager for a renewables company. What that means is I oversee the operating day-to-day running of the company. The only person senior to me in the company is the MD, who owns the business. I like it because every day is different. There are days that I'm dealing with customer service, and then the next day I might be dealing with tenders, and the next day I might be dealing with a HR issue, which I don't really like, but it's my job. The next day I might be doing accounts, you know, so every day is different, which I like. The reason I'm in renewables is I kind of fell into it. I've been in the renewables industry now for 12 years. Yeah, 12 years. Not this same company, different companies, but it's just something as an industry I fell into and was good at. What does John do for a living? John owns a post office and shop with, he has that in a partnership. And he also owns a photography business, and he has shares, I suppose, and runs a rugby team. So he works really hard. I work hard, but he works like 6.5 days a week. What was your favourite subject in school? My favourite subject in primary school was pretty much anything that wasn't a lesson. I was in every activity, every club, drama club, choir, recorders, the school newspaper, the country dancing team, the hockey team, the netball team. I liked all the activities and not much of the lessons. Into secondary school, my favourite subjects were religious education. I actually took that as GCSE. I believe my year was the last year you could choose to do it. I think the year after us, everybody was made to do a type of religious education, but yeah, my GCSE class had 8 people in it. So yeah, RE, media studies and music, basically because I found them easy. And then my favourite subject at college, even though I specialised in law, that's kind of what my main topic was, I'm going to say my favourite subject was English literature, because basically it was awesome. They gave you amazing books to read, and then the other part of the course was to have a healthy debate or argue about a theme of the book or a character in the book, or, you know, the pros and cons of feminism in the book, which I really enjoyed doing. So yeah, English literature was definitely my favourite subject in higher education. How did you and John meet? Once upon a time in a faraway land, I worked at a place called ASDA, which is, well, it's owned by Walmart. So if you don't know what ASDA is, it's a bit like Walmart but smaller. Basically I worked there all the way through college, and when I left college I decided I didn't really want to go into law, even though I'd spent all that time getting the qualifications. Gilly just knocked you. Hi Gil. Hello. Yes, hello. Yes, so I decided I didn't want to go into law. Does this lipstick smell nice? It does. Yes, decided I didn't want to go into law. Was trying to make my mind up what I wanted to do, so I just stayed on at ASDA while I was trying to figure my life out. And they had ASDA used to do this thing called So You Want to Be, and it was like, say you want to be a baker, say you want to be a manager, say you want to be a butcher, and it was like a training course. So I kind of decided I'd do the management one, so I was getting at least another qualification while I was figuring out what I was going to do in my life. And I was doing it over on the counters department, which was like deli counter, pizza, curry pot, rotisserie, that kind of thing. Anyway, John used to be a manager of counters department in, I should know what store, it was up north, it was in Lancashire, and basically he had bought his shop down here in Cornwall, and the shop couldn't open straight away. Gilly, sit down, good boy. The shop couldn't open straight away because of a refit that he was having done, so he decided to stay at ASDA for a bit while that was happening. So he got a transfer from his store up north to my store in Cornwall. Unfortunately, there wasn't a management position for him, so he came in as a standard colleague, and on his first day, he was a prat. No, on his first day, he turned to me and said, if I was going to stay, I'd be your boss within 3 months. And I thought, you arrogant blob. And that was my first impression of John. John will tell you the story that the moment he saw me, he liked me. I just think he has a thing for ASDA uniforms, actually. But yeah, and that was kind of it. John was a very popular guy in our store. Everybody liked him apart from me. And yes, so then when it came to John leaving, everybody was wanting to throw him a leaving party because he was so popular. So yeah, and I went because obviously lots of my friends were going, and we went to a pub in St Austell called the Homebush, and then we went to a nightclub called Gossips, that isn't there anymore, it's the old Cornwall Coliseum, and a lot of vodka and sexy dancing, and ended up having a bit of a smooch. And yeah, almost 13 years later we're still together. That's a long rambly one for you. How did John propose? Where did you and John get married? On our year anniversary, I still lived with my mum and dad. John lived with his mum and dad. John had to work in the morning, and he came up at lunchtime, and we went for a walk on the beach, which we did quite a lot because it's what you do when you live in Cornwall. And yeah, he proposed on the beach, and I burst into tears and I cried, and we were actually back in the car, and John turned to me and he went, "You haven't said yes yet." I had just cried so much. Obviously I said yes. It's quite funny, the ring he gave me didn't fit. Not because he got the wrong size. Basically, I have really big hands, and he had found out my ring measurement, but it had to be specially made for me because my hands were so big. So the company that he'd ordered the ring through gave him a smaller ring to propose with, so at least he had something. But yeah, so I didn't get to keep the ring he proposed with, but I do love the one that he got me, even though I don't wear it anymore because now it's too big. But yes, that's how he proposed. And then we got married in the Catholic church in St Ives, which is in Cornwall. And then we had our wedding breakfast, reception, evening do, whatever you want to call it. We had that at a place called Tregenna Castle, which is also in St Ives. It was a amazing day. It was a very traditional British big wedding. I have a giant family, so it was a very large wedding. We had, I'm trying to do the math quickly, five, how many bridesmaids did I have? Rachel, maid of honour, and then Kirsty, Jessie, Kayla, Danny, 4 bridesmaids, one page boy and 2 flower girls. We had 2 best men. It was giant, but it was perfect. And I'd do it again tomorrow as long as I didn't have to pay for it. Next question. Do you believe in God? Yes. Yes, I got married in the Catholic Church. I'm a Roman Catholic, as is John. We are not what you would call poster children for the Catholic Church. We have quite modern belief structure, even though some people would say we are part of a dated faith. My views vary greatly from what you may believe a traditional Roman Catholic believes. I agree with gay marriage. I agree with a woman's right to choose, be that birth control or abortion or anything along those lines. I believe in sex before marriage. This could be a whole video by itself. But yeah, I believe in God. I believe in heaven. I honestly, truly believe that I will go to heaven when I die. Yeah, I could do a much more in-depth video on my religious views, but the short answer is yes, I believe in God. Next question is the hardest question. Well, is it the hardest question? I get asked this question once a week, be it on a video or on Instagram or in real life. Are you going to have kids? Do you want children? Are you trying for a baby? Don't you like kids? If you're not having children, why not? Etc, etc, etc. I understand, I'm 33, I am married, we have no children, and people find this very odd. Oh, the other one, do you hate kids? I personally am a very maternal person. I think if you know me, if you've seen me with my dogs, if you've seen me with my godchildren, my nieces, my friends' children, you will know I am a very maternal person. And John, one day John will he's just going to make the world's greatest dad. I just hope he has a son before he has a daughter. Otherwise she's going to have a very sheltered life. At 21, I would have told you by the time I'm 33, I'd have at least 5 kids. I always wanted a very big family. I come from a big family. My sister has got 6 kids. My dad had masses of brothers and sisters, as did my mum. Big families were all I actually kind of knew. You know, millions of cousins and things. And it was always mine and John's plan to have a big family of our own. However, life gets in the way. I am not going to cry in this video. I hate this question. Basically, if I woke up tomorrow and I've discovered that I was 3 months pregnant, I would probably be the happiest woman, man being in existence. There would be nothing happier than me if I woke up tomorrow 3 months pregnant. But that's not going to happen because John and I are not trying for children at the moment. Basically, we have experienced the loss of a child. Not crying. We've experienced loss, and emotionally it is the worst pain I've ever been through. And I'm not looking for any sympathy here, but I've had a pretty shitty life. And I would put experiencing miscarriage, experiencing a loss of a child is the most painful thing any person can experience. Yeah, and I've got I can compare that to rape, I can compare that to the death of a parent. It is the most hideous thing you can go through, and I personally am not emotionally strong enough to go through that again. There, that's my answer. Will we have children one day? I'm hopeful that one day we will, but not today. It could be that in the future we choose to adopt, it could be in the future that we choose to have them biologically, but at this time we're not there. It's not happening. Okay, in the future, if any of you see anyone asking on a video, please point them back to this one, because it's hard to talk about. I know I should be strong and talk about it more, but I'm not. And at this time, this is kind of all I can say on the topic. Do you believe in psychics? And if so, have you ever seen one? I believe in heaven, and I believe in souls and spirits. So I think it'd be a bit ignorant to think that there aren't people out there that can tap into that. However, I've never seen one because I'm worried about being conned. I know when my dad died, my mum really got into the ones on telly, like really got into them. But yeah, I'd be too worried I was being conned. I suppose the only way I'd probably believe it if it was being done for free. Now that's not because I'm cheap, it's just I don't understand. Like, there's one that comes to the local city centre occasionally and it's like £45 for a reading or whatever, and I'm like, that's a lot of money. And I imagine it maybe it's draining to do, but it's like when I've watched the stuff on TV, it's so general that it could really relate to anyone, if that makes sense, especially if you're in the mindset that you're watching this kind of program or you're accessing this kind of thing. It means you're already in a place where you're open to it. So I would love to do it if like it was guaranteed the person was genuine, because yeah, I'd really like to talk to my dad, and I'd like, not for my dad because obviously he's in heaven, he's in the best place, but just kind of more to just let him know that we're okay. And I'd like to know, this kind of goes back to the whole Catholic, you know, I'm Roman Catholic. As a rule, Roman Catholics believe that unchristened children do not get to go to heaven, which means that stillborn babies and miscarriage babies don't get to go to heaven. I personally don't believe that, because in my opinion, God would be all-loving and would allow these innocent babies into heaven. But I'd really like to ask my dad if our babies are there. And yeah, I think my mum would get great strength from being able to kind of make contact with my dad. But I'd be too worried, again, as I said, too worried I was being conned. Right. Oh, I'm getting emotional. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you have, give it a thumbs up, comment, subscribe, share, and I will talk to you all very soon. Bye guys.